Greetings, welcome. My name is Trinae. I'm the owner of Sweet G's Sweet Picks, and in this video tutorial we are going to learn how to make a cell phone pouch. The reason why this cell phone pouch or this crochet project is different than any other project you've ever seen is because we are incorporating direct-to-film transfer onto your project. We are going to make pockets. We're going to hand sew a liner to go inside of your cell phone pouch. And we're also going to apply the zipper using crochet. So let us get started. Okay, so we are going to start with making the strap. Please forgive my handwriting. My strap is 50 inches long. Okay, it's 50 inches long. I measured myself from the tip of my right shoulder to the base of my, about 3 inches below my left breast, because I'm going to wear the bag like a crossover. So from the tip of my right shoulder to about 3 inches below my left breast, that would be 25 inches for me. I have to double that because the strap has to cover the back of my back as well as the front. So that's 50 inches, okay? Then second, you figure out how many of your star stitches will yield for 1 inch for you, okay? For me, 2 star stitches equals 1 inch. And that's equivalent to 4 chains. This is how we're going to figure out how many chains you need for the inches that you need to create your strap. Okay, so after you measure your stitches, find out how many star stitches you need to create an inch. Then you multiply those stitches by the length of chains needed. Okay, so I need 50 inches. I multiply that times 4 chains because my 4 chains equals 1 inch. Okay, so that's going to yield 200 chains for me. After I make my 200 chains, then I will chain 4 because the chain, I will make 4 more chains added on to the 200 chains because those 4 chains are my turning chain. That's my first star stitch that I'm making for my strap. So I need a total of 204 chains. You can make a total of 204 chains, or you can change these numbers up to fit what you need. Say you need 25. Say you need 4 star stitches. Change that number. 4 star stitches to make 1 inch because your stitches are tighter. Then you multiply your inches times your chains, and then add that total to 4 chains. And I know that's a lot, but just keep repeating this until it just makes sense to you, or even just do trial and error until you get the right length. Because that's what I had to do. And then I had to figure out how to help you get the right measurement without having to do trial and error. But sometimes trial and error is just easier, okay? And also feel free to email me. My email is listed in the website. Email me, and if you need help, and I'll figure it out for you if you would like for me to do that. I'll be happy to. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start off by making the strap. You're going to make sure you have enough tail to weave in. Make your tail about 4 inches. Put your tail over your working part of your yarn like this. And then pull it up through that loop here. Okay. That is your slip knot. And then we are going to chain however it is many you need, but I'm only chaining 24. My multiples of 2 plus 4. And this is going to be important because this is also going to be the base of your shell of your cell phone pouch. So remember that number 24, chain 24. So this is the first chain. Well, let me start over. Slip stitch, yarn over, pull through, that's chain 1. And make it loose so you can work into your stitches without any problems. So that's chain 2, chain 3, you're yarning over and pulling through each loop. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, keep it loose. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and you just come back, pause the video and come back so we can turn it and start on the next row. Okay, so now you're back. You're going to turn your chain over so you can see your back bumps. This is a back bump. This is a back bump. You're going to skip this back bump, go into this one, 2 loops on your hook. Go into this back bump, three loops on your hook. Go into this back bump, 4 loops on your hook. Go into this back bump, 5 loops on your hook. Go into this back bump, 6 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over and pull all of those loops. Pull your yarn through all of those loops on your hook. Then you will yarn over again and pull your working yarn through that final loop on your hook. That is your first star stitch. I'm going to make 3 more with you. Insert your hook into that hoop. That's the center of your star stitch. Yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into this part of your star stitch. Yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into the base part right here of your star stitch. Yarn over, 4 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into this back bump. Yarn over, 5 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into this back bump here. Yarn over, pull through, 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull your yarn through all of those loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull the yarn through that final loop on your hook. That's your second star stitch. Okay, we're going to repeat that again. Hook through the hoop, 2 loops on your hook. Hook through this part of your star stitch right here. 3 loops on your hook. Hook through this base part of your star stitch. 4 loops on your hook. Hook through the bump. 5 loops on your hook. Hook through this bump here. 6 loops on your hook. Pull through all 6 loops on your hook. And then pull through that final loop on your hook. Now we're going to do one more star stitch together. Okay. Okay. And I will meet you at the end. Okay, we are at the end. You should not have any bumps remaining. So what we're going to do at the end, we're going to chain 2. 1, 2, turn your work. Yarn over and put 2 double crochets into each of these holes that are in the star stitch. Okay, that's a hole, that's a hole, that's a hole, that's a hole. So how we make the double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook into the hole, yarn over, pull through, that's 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and then pull through these 2 loops on your hook. We're going to do that again in the same hole, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through, that's a total of 2 double crochets inside of your hole that's in your star stitch. So here's the next hole. We're going to do 2 double crochets there, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through, 1 loop on your hook. We're going to do that again, yarn over, insert your hook, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook. I'm sorry, 1 loop on your hook. That's your second set. We're going to do 2 more together. Yarn over, find your next hole. It's right there. Yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, insert your hook. Yarn over, pull through. 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through. That's 2. 1 more set. Yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, insert your hook into the hole again, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through. So you can, I will meet you at the end. So when we turn our work, we're going to start our star stitch again. Okay, we are at the end. The last hole, the last star stitch. So this little loop right here at the end, you're going to insert your hook there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That's a single crochet. Then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Don't make it too tight because you're going to work your first star stitch in that. So turn your work. Insert your hook. Not in this one, but in the next one. Okay? Not in this hook, but in the next hook. I'm sorry, in the next chain. So that's, you inserted it, that's 2 loops on your hook. You inserted it here, that's 3 loops on your hook. You insert it here, that's 4 loops on your hook. You insert it in your first stitch here. That's 5 loops on your hook. You insert it in the next stitch. That's 6 loops on your hook. And you get your yarn over, and pull it through all of those 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull it through. That's your first star stitch. And you make this star stitch just like you did on that first row. Insert your hook into the hole, yarn over, pull through. Insert your hook into the base here. That part of the star stitch, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook. And then insert your hook into the base part here. See that here? Yarn over, pull through, 4 loops on your hook. Insert your insert your hook into this part of the stitch here, in that stitch. Yarn over, pull through, 5 loops on your hook. And this is in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, 6 loops on your hook. Get your yarn, pull it through all 6 loops on your hook. Pull it through once more. That's 2 star stitches. We're going to do 2 more together, and then I will meet you at the end after that. I'm going to go slow. We'll do one more. Okay, and I will see you at the end. Okay, so we are at the end. Okay, here's your little loop again that you're going to insert your hook through. Yarn over, pull through. 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through. And then chain 2. Turn your work. Find where your star stitch is. And then find that hole in the center of it. That's it right there. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. I'm going to do the next 4 with you. And then after I do the next 4 with you, we're going to go to the end and turn, and you will do the remaining 24 rows on your own. This will be the 4th row. You'll have 24 more rows to go. And then after that, I will see you at the end of the 24th row. So here we go. Yarn over. Yarn over. Put your hook through that hole. 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the last loop. Do it again. Yarn over, put your hook through the loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through last 2 loops on your hook, 1 loop on your hook. Find the next stitch, and we're going to do 2 more double crochet in that next star stitch hole right there. Okay, one, 2. The next hole here. One, 2. The next hole here. One, 2. Okay, and I will see you at the end of this row. Okay, we are at the end. So we are going to insert our hook into this loop right here. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And make it loose so you won't have a hard time inserting your hook. I'm going to do 4 stitches with you, and then I'm going to leave you on your own to complete the remaining rows that you will need. So skip this stitch here, this chain here, go into the next chain, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into that chain, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into this stitch here. See that stitch there at the base, yarn over, pull through, 4 loops on your hook, insert your hook into here, yarn over, pull through, 5 loops on your hook, insert your hook into this base, into this chain here, 6 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull all of your loops, pull your yarn through all of the loops on your hook, and then yarn over, pull your yarn through that loop, and you have your star stitch for that row. We're going to do 3 more. And I'll just do it slowly. Okay, the third one. The fourth one. Okay, and I will see you once you have completed your 28th row. Okay, so we are at the end of your pouch shell. I finished. I made a mistake and wove in my ends. So I'm going to pretend that our practice piece is the end, and I'm going to show you how to close that up or fasten off. So we find that little stitch that's at the end here, right here. This little part here, you insert your hook, you yarn over, 2 loops on your hook after you pull it through, and then yarn over, pull it through again, clip your yarn about 4 inches, and then pull that through, and then weave in your ends, and then we will be finished with your pouch shell. Okay, we are back. We have our shell, our completed shell, ends weaved in, and we have our cloth. You are going to lay your cloth on the wrong side, and if you have noticed, my cloth, my shell might be a little bit wider than yours. It is not your imagination, it is a tad bit wider. I did 26 stitches, if I'm not mistaken. Did I do 26, 28? I may have done 28. 26 or 28 stitches with this one. So do not think that yours is incorrect. It is not. Okay? I just forgot that I made my finished shell wider, so I apologize. But you are fine with what you have, okay? Yours is perfect. But if you just remember your rule, multiples of 2 and then add 4, you can make it as wide and as slim as you want to, okay? So we have this stretched out across our fabric. What we're going to do, we're going to get our marking tool and we're just going to trace outside of the fabric, okay? We're going to trace it right next to the fabric because what we're going to do, we're going to actually sew this to the inside of the fabric, okay? So just sort of trace it outside. It may be a little bumpy, it's okay. Just trace it on all sides, and then you're going to cut it as straight as you can. And then after we trace our fabric, we're going to trace out our pockets for the front side of it. But you're going to cut this first. I'm not going to cut this with you. I think you all know how to cut. Yeah, so you're just going to cut this, and then you are going to make a square that will form pockets for the front of your, that'll fit on the front of your, I marked up mine, I apologize. That will fit on the front of your shell here. You're going to want 2 of these, okay? So you're going to trace out 2 of these. You're going to trace out 1 here, and then you're going to trace out another one that's on a sturdier fabric. I'm using denim. You can use the lining that they use to keep your fabric firm. I apologize, I cannot remember the name of it. I will tell you in just a few moments what the name of it is. But it keeps your fabric firm. I'm just using some scrap denim to keep my fabric firm. And then what we're going to do, after we cut this out, and you cut out your squares to fit here, just inside, you're leaving about 1/4 of an inch around the outside here, and about maybe 2 inches, 2.5 inches here, okay? Well, maybe 3. But my square is about 4.5 inches by 5 inches, okay? So you can make yours about 4 inches by 4 inches, since yours is a little smaller. But mine is like, well, 4 3/4 inches by 5 inches. That's what mine is. So you can make yours like 4 inches by 4 inches, okay? And then cut those out. So you will have these. And then I will see you when we come back. Okay, so we have cut out our squares. in our very large rectangle. So we're going to mark them evenly because we are going to sew the edges to keep them from fraying. You can purchase a liquid seam sealant to keep the edges from fraying, but I prefer not to. Yes, it's called a liquid seam sealant. And in the last part, I forgot the name of the fabric that you use to make your fabric or your pocket firm. It's called a stabilizer, a fabric stabilizer. There are many types. You can use the type that you just iron on, and you won't have to use denim. I'm using denim so I can have an extra pocket and to help reinforce this one a little more. So you don't have to do that. You can just get a fabric stabilizer to make your fabric firm, or just use denim by itself. It's entirely up to you. Or just put a fabric stabilizer on the back of any type of cloth that you want. I am using what I have because I'm trying to get rid of a lot of stuff. I'm trying to use all of the yarn that I have before I get any more. Okay. So, or all of the art supplies and crafts that I have before I purchase any more. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we are going to sew the edges. We're going to sew the wrong sides together to form a pocket. But first we're going to mark it so we can sew the stitches evenly. So you get your ruler. The centimeter works really well for me. And what I do, I mark it every centimeter all the way around. And then once I mark it a centimeter all the way around, I get my marking tool and I mark between those. And that's how I have some very nice stitches with a very sturdy pocket. Okay, so do that with one side of your pocket, and after you do that, you are going to mark this the exact same way. You're going to mark a centimeter, and then you will mark a centimeter all the way around, okay? And then after that, you will mark between those, because that's going to be where you land your stitches on your liner, okay? And then we are going to sew these, okay? So let me see you after you do your markings, okay? Okay, so now we have our cloths marked to sew. So first we're going to do the back stitch. And I'm going to do maybe, I think I have enough thread to do maybe 4 stitches. So what you do, we're going to start here. Put your needle under the cloth. Oh, and make sure your cloths are wrong side together. Okay, this is the, I'm sorry, right side together. This is the right side, this is the right side, and they're facing each other. Okay, so you get your needle, you put it under this cloth. You put it very close to the mark that you just came up. And then you bring it up into the next mark, but you go through both sides this time. You go through both sides. Okay. And then you take your needle and you go backwards, right next to the stitch that you just completed before you came back up. So we're going to put our needle right here next to this stitch here. I think I'm going to get some darker thread so you all can see the next stitches that I make. Oh, and don't pull it too tight or it'll pucker. You don't want it to pucker. Okay. So this is the back stitch again. Bring your needle up through both sides of the cloth, or both pieces of cloth, then go backwards to the stitch, the front of the stitch that you previously made here. Okay, that's 2 stitches. We're going to make 2 more stitches. And don't pull it too tight like I did, or your cloth will pucker. So you are going to do this back stitch all the way around here, here, and on this side. Okay, all the way around here. And I will see you when you have completed it. Okay, so we have finished sewing our back stitch all the way around the 3 sides. And when you are, I forgot to mention, when you are sewing your back stitch, I don't recommend that you use a length longer than 8 inches of thread, because it may get tangled and you'll have to start over. But if you are good at not getting your thread tangled, ignore my caution. So now we are going to finish it by putting a knot at the end. And you can use the same finishing technique every time you stop or run out of thread. You put your needle through a stitch in the back, leave a loop, put your needle through that loop, and pull it. You do that one more time. Put your needle through the stitch, leave a small loop, put your needle through the loop, and tighten it up. And don't worry about how messy it looks. It's going to work. Your seam will be tight once you turn your pocket inside out. no one will see your stitch. And if your stitch is beautiful, congratulations. Okay, so now we are going to do the back stitch. So with the back stitch, we're going to start in a corner. Start in a corner here. We're going to use between each stitch as our guide on where we're inserting the needle, okay? And you don't have to use I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but you don't have to use an ink pen to mark your cloth. I'm using it so you can see. You would use a fabric pencil or a crayon, a white crayon, because it won't show and it can come off. But I used a pen so you can see my marks. So you would insert your needle not between both pieces of fabric, but under the white, so the knot won't show. And then you insert it again from the back, really close to where you inserted it the first time. And then you just bring your needle through that loop that you made to start. Okay, and then you find your next stitch space. Bring your needle through that stitch space. Use your finger as your guide to hold the loop. Bring your needle through that loop, and that's your first back stitch. You do that again. Bring your needle under both pieces of cloth. Use your finger as your guide to hold the loop. Insert your needle here, and that's your second back stitch. Okay, do it again. Bring your needle through your loop. Through your space between the stitches. Use your finger as your guide to hold the loop. Then bring your needle through the loop. That's your third back stitch. We're going to do it again. Needle through the space between the stitches. Use your finger as your guide to hold the loop. Bring your needle through the loop. And I do recommend people who are not used to doing this for you to have a thimble so you won't stick your finger. Okay, we're going to do one more. Needle through the space between the stitches. Let your finger hold that loop. And there we go. So you're going to do this all the way around. All the way around. Okay. And then I will meet you at the end. And don't forget, when you run out of thread, you will insert your needle in the stitch in the back leave a small loop, bring your needle through the loop. That's your first knot. You do that one more time. Stick your needle through the stitch in the back, bring your needle through, and bring your needle through the small loop. Okay? And then I will see you at the end when we are done, and you will know how to close it out at the end, because next what we're going to do, we're going to do a back stitch. I want you to do the back stitch along here, and after you do the back stitch, do the blanket stitch along here as well. You do the back stitch here and the blanket stitch along here as well. Okay, we're gonna do that next. Okay, so we have completed our blanket stitch all the way around. Okay, and what I should have done was, before we did the blanket stitch, what you can do is clip your corners. Just clip it right here. Clip it right here. So you'll have a clean edge in your corners like this. But I forgot to do that. But it's okay. It won't be bulky. So if you have not done your blanket stitch around, clip your corners diagonally. Clip them like that without damaging or clipping your seam. I can't do that now because I did the blanket stitch. But yeah, if you have not started sewing your blanket stitch, just clip those corners just a little bit under your back stitch, just in these two corners at the bottom, so you'll have a nice clean seam without the bulk at the bottom. And so you will turn it inside out. We're turning it inside out. See, it's a little bulky down there. And when you clip it, clip the corners a little bit, it won't be as bulky. But I don't have that much in the corner, so it's not going to be so bad. But you will press this down with your iron, okay? And then once you press it down, you are going to mark your spaces between your stitches, because you want to stitch the top part so they won't fray. Or you can use that liquid fabric sealant that I mentioned earlier, so your edges won't fray. But we're going to do a back stitch and a blanket stitch across here, and we're going to do a back stitch and blanket stitch across here. And I have already done it here. This is how it looks. Back stitch and blanket stitch. I made my marks, and I did my back stitch and blanket stitch after I pressed it. And I even remembered to clip my corners before I did the blanket stitch. And it's not as bulky. So that is what you would do with your pocket. So next we are going to work on the zipper, okay? We're going to work on marking the zipper. and making the zipper where you can crochet it onto your cell phone pouch. Okay, so you also want to get your lining for your crochet shell for your cell phone case. Okay, this is the lining, and you want to do the back stitch and the blanket stitch all the way around, and this keeps it from fraying. And like I mentioned earlier, if you don't want to do this work, you can get some liquid fabric sealant and just place the liquid on the edges of the fabric to keep it from fraying. But I prefer not to use it. I do prefer to sew it. And then after we do that, we've done our lining, we've done our pockets. Now we're going to work on our zipper. And what you would need for your zipper, you would need to mark it like we marked our fabric. You would mark it every ½ centimeter. Like I marked it every centimeter, and then I went between the centimeters and marked it there. And don't worry about these extra marks. Please forgive me. I was trying to figure out where I wanted to put the marks so I can attach the fabric to the shell. We're going to attach the fabric. We're going to crochet this to the shell. And you will mark it. You see where the texture changes here and here. You want to go between here and the edge. You want to mark in the middle of that. So find that distance from here where the texture changes from where the zipper is to the edge. You want to mark here. And you want to mark every ½ centimeter, because that's going to be your guide on how you place your yarn or sew your yarn through. So now we are going to stitch the loops or make a chain stitch onto the fabric of the zipper. So you will need a tapestry needle, your tapestry needle, and you will also need your scissors, okay. And so we are going to get started on that. I should have been ready, but I wasn't. Okay, so you want to use your tapestry needle. Should have a little bit of a point on it, like right here. And you want your yarn length to be at least 3 times, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 times the length of your zipper to start. And let's Thread your needle. And this is, maybe I should use the side where it's not. We're going to start here. We're going to start here. We're going to count. Yeah, we're going to start here at this last little bit here. Bring your needle up through there. Okay. And just leave a little bit of a tail, maybe about 3 inches, so you can tie it. You're going to take your needle back next to that space there, right here, or you can even put it inside of the same hole if you can. You're going to leave a small loop. Let your finger be your guide if you need to. Residual thread. And you will get your needle, count up 3 spaces from here. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. No, I apologize. 1, 2, 3. Right here. Bring your needle up and make sure your loop goes around that needle. Pull it tight. That's your first chain. Don't pull it too tight, but pull it tight enough where it won't get in the way of the zipper zipping. That's going to matter when it gets here, okay? So you want it to stay within. Try to keep it within this, between the texture where the textures change. So you won't have any problems with zipping it up and it getting caught when you zip it. Okay, so count 1, 2, 3. Yeah, count 3 marks. 1, 2, 3. Go up. Oh, no, I did not do that. I did not do that right. You don't count yet. You go back into this hoop here. Go back in here. Because you're going to make another loop. I'm not editing this out. You are going to have to forgive me. Or not. Please forgive me. Okay. I made my next little loop here. And then you bring your needle up and place your loop around your needle here. Okay. Oh, all types of issues. Have mercy. Okay. Okay. Then you go back down into that loop. Okay, count up 3. 1, 2, 3. Bring your needle up through that 3rd mark. Make sure you put your loop around it. Pull it tight. bring your needle down. Count up 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have done enough to see the pattern. Now say you have run out of yarn, okay? Say right here you have run out of yarn. I'm going to cut it as if we ran out of yarn. And you need to start again. So what you want to do, you want to make sure that this loop, that you have your last loop, okay? So you run out of yarn, make that last loop. What you would do, you would just count. We run out of yarn, you would count up 1, 2, 3. Put this up through here. Put your loop around the needle. Make sure that there's enough tail for you to tie a knot underneath and cut it clean. Then you put your needle back through that mark. I'm sorry, back through that loop. Leave a loop, and then you just continue the process. Okay, so I will see you when we get to the end of the zipper, so I can show you how to cross over. Okay, so I will see you in just a bit. Okay, so we have made it to the end of our zipper. We have ended with a loop. So what we're going to do, we're going to turn our zipper this way, go to that mark that's across, bring our needle up, put our loop around it like that. That's our bridge to go across. Put our needle back in. Okay. Turn our zipper around. Count up 3. We're going to use this out here. 1, 2, 3. Bring your needle up through that third mark. Put your needle, put your loop around that. Put your needle back through. And then continue down to the end of the zipper. And then I will meet you, 1, 2, 3. I will meet you at the end to show you how to close it. Okay, so we are at the end. So what we're going to do, we are going to put your needle up through your loop. Okay. Then we're going to go on the opposite side and go under here. Under the loop on the opposite side. Bring that together. And then you're going to go back down into that loop that you just came out of on the other side. And that's how we are closing the bridge at the end of your zipper, like that. Okay, so next we are going to attach, we're going to sew the liner to the shell of the cell phone case, and we will probably do a back stitch, so you are already familiar with that. And yeah, so that's what we're going to do next. Sew the lining onto the shell of the cell phone case. I forgot to add all of your little pieces underneath. If you have a lot of pieces, you want to get them and tie them into a knot like that. Tie them like maybe 3 times for good measure. And if you want to put a little dab of glue on it, you can. A little fabric glue, you can. But you're going to do all of your little knots like that. All of your little loose ends like that. Okay. Okay, we are going to sew the lining onto our cell phone pouch. I have already done most of it. And we're just going to complete this little corner here together so you'll know that we are doing the back stitch around the whole border or perimeter of our cell phone pouch. Okay, so let's zoom in. We have our needle threaded. What you will do, you will insert your needle not on this side, but just under here where your yarn and your fabric meets, because we don't want any of this stitch to show on the other side. So once we pull that through, you go back through. You don't go all the way through because we don't want the stitch to show on the other side. You just go just under the cloth through the yarn. Okay. And you repeat this process. Just go just into the yarn, not directly from the other side, but just into the yarn here and up through, and then go back in front of your last stitch that you just made here, And that's the back stitch. And remember, we're not going all the way through the shell, the yarn. We're just gonna go through just enough of the yarn to bind the fabric to it. And you just do this all the way to the end. And make sure it's grasping your shell, but just not going through it. And it is good to use yarn that, thread that is the same color. I ran out. But thread that is the same color, that will ensure the invisibility of the stitch on the other side. So now we are going to close it off. Close off the stitch. And what you would do, you will just go under here without it going through the whole shell as you did it while you were making the stitch. You have a loop, you bring your needle through the loop and you let it tighten. You bring this through, your needle through your stitch once more, and then bring the needle through the loop. Let it tighten. And then you clip it. And we are done. And what we're going to do next, we are going to press our DTF onto the pocket of our, no, we're going to press the DTF onto our pocket, okay? And I'm thinking maybe I should have sewn the pocket first so the stitch won't come through here. Won't come through the lining, but we're going to figure that part out when we get there. Okay, thank you so much. I will see you then. Okay, make sure in this part of the video you have your heat resistant gloves, okay, for my newbies. Put those on. I have mom hands. I don't have to wear them. I have mom hands and experience. So you wear your gloves, okay? We have our DTF, our adorable little axolotl, just the cutest. We have our pocket. We also have our mini heat press that's already heated up to 320. Okay, what we're gonna do, we are going to get our parchment paper and place it over our little axolotl. After we place the parchment paper over our axolotl, we will place our heat press over each part of the axolotl, holding it down for about, I want to say 25 seconds, because when I used it in the past, I needed to do it twice. I needed to do it twice for about 15 seconds, so the DTF would adhere to the cloth. So this time I'm going to do 25 seconds to see if that works without me having to do it twice. Okay, that's half of it. We're going to do the other half. And maybe 30 seconds. Let's say 30 seconds. Because that was about 30 seconds the last time. Okay. We have done that. We lift this. I think I made it a little off center. We'll let it cool. I think I want to press it. May press it for about 10 more seconds just to see. Just for good measure, I may press it for 15 more seconds after it cools. But we let this rest for about 60 seconds. And it's best to do it no more than 30 seconds at a time, so you won't scorch the DTF. Okay, I'm gonna probably do about 10 more seconds. And then we should be able to lift it. These mini heat presses don't get as hot as, and they're not as heavy as the bigger heat presses. So that's why it requires more pressing. Okay, that's about 15 seconds. That's about 15 seconds. Let it cool for about 60 seconds, and then we should be ready to peel off. And yes, make sure you center your, I did not take any time to center this. Shame on me. I get so excited about this part and I forgot to center it. And I'm not resewing a pocket. So, yeah. It is what it is. We got about 30 more seconds. And then after the 30 seconds, we're going to peel this layer off. Peel that layer off. And then we're going to press it for 15 more seconds. Okay. about 60 seconds. We are peeling. She is the cutest. So we are going to get our parchment paper and press it once more. About 10 seconds, 10-15 seconds. Or 15 seconds here. Okay, turn your mini heat press off and let this cool. And now we are going to sew our adorable little pocket. Don't pick this up until it cools off, okay? I have mom hands. This is still hot, okay? That's 320 degrees transferred onto this cloth. Do not pick this up unless you have on gloves. But yes, we're going to sew our pocket onto our lining as soon as this cools off. And then after that, we will start assembling our pouch. Exciting. Okay, so I have sewn most of the pocket on using the Backstitch, okay? A mistake I made. I should have sewn the pocket on before I put the lining on, because now you can see my ugly stitches. So the next, if you've been following with me exactly, your next Cellphone pouch, sew your pocket on first. Prepare your pocket first so you won't have this right here. So this is a lesson that I have learned. And also another lesson, I did not center her the way I wanted to. My pocket is a little bit off center as well because it's a little wide, my pouch. But what I did to secure it, when I first started sewing, I had to secure it by putting my clips all along here. And I started here and here. So that's why it's a little off center, because over here it would not have fit. So I had to figure out how to get it on there, because I didn't want to go look for my my regular fabric pins so I could center it properly. So yes, you may want to use fabric pins to center it properly if your pouch is wide, a little bit wider, okay? These clips don't have the reach that you need to keep your pocket centered. Okay, so enough with my mistakes. Let me continue with how we are going to complete this back stitch onto your by securing your pocket onto your cell phone case. And as we've done before, Okay, 2 more stitches. And then after we complete this, we are going to, I think I'm going to put the strap on next, and then put the zipper on last. But yes. And we will put the knot here to tie it off. I mean, I just messed up my beautiful lining. Okie dokie. So, that is done. Your pocket is on and secure. Have 2 pockets. So we will get to making your strap securely fastened to your cell phone pouch. Okay, now we are attaching our strap to our pouch. You want to figure out which side you want to be the right side and the left side and commit to it. So we will start by getting our yarn, our hook, and we are going to insert our hook into the bottom corner of your pouch after you folded it. And it can just be the outside of the stitch that's facing you, because the stitch that's inside is probably sewn to thread, and it'll be hard for you to get your hook in there, and you may tear your seam. So you can just work on the outside stitches, or the outside part of the stitches. Make sure you leave a tail, 4-inch tail, so you can weave it in nicely. So we're gonna insert our hook into this stitch here. Yarn over and pull that through, leaving your 4-inch tail. We're gonna leave this part in the center. Oh, and I didn't add that you should have your bag folded in half evenly, okay? Have your bag folded in half evenly. Okay, make sure your yarn is centered here, because what you're gonna do, you're gonna go on the other side of your strap at the bottom and enter your needle into the stitch and pull your yarn through the loop and the stitch. And this is going to begin our zigzag stitch up. That braided, and it will appear to be braided, okay? So we have that in. We're going to go back to the other side into the next stitch here. Insert your hook, pull your yarn through the stitch, and then pull your yarn through the loop on your hook. Okay, then we're going to go to the other side on your strap, locate the next stitch, put your hook through the back part of that, pull your yarn through the stitch, pull your yarn through the hoop or the loop on your hook. And you're going to do this all the way up until you finish. I am going to do maybe 4 more stitches with you, and then I'm going to leave you to do it on your own. On the way, all the way to the top. That's 1. This is the second part of 1. This is 2. This is the second part of 2. This is 3. This is the second part of 3. And this is 4. This is the second part of 4. Okay. You just keep alternating from here to here to here to here with your zigzag stitch, and that's just a slip stitch on each side, the back side of your strap and the front stitch of your cell phone pouch. And I will meet you at the top, and then we will start back at the bottom to continue around the other side. Okay, we are at the end. We're going to close this up. Bringing it through, and then bringing your thread through once more, leaving about a 4-inch tail so you can weave it in nicely. Okay, and now we're going to start here at the bottom. Okay. Making sure that it's even. Start right over here in this corner. Okay, yeah. so insert your hook down here in the corner, pull that through your strap. Hope you all can see that. Okay, leaving another tail to weave in nicely. Make sure you move those out of the way. Keep this in the center. Keep this between your strap and your cell phone pouch. Then on the underside of your pouch, you insert your hook, pull it through, yarn over, pull your yarn through, okay, and then pull that through the loop on your hook. Okay, so now we go back over here to the strap, insert your hook, pull your yarn through, and then pull that through the loop on your hook. Then you go back over here to your pouch, insert your hook on the back side of it, pull the yarn through, then pull that through the loop on your hook. Go back to your strap here, insert your hook, and you do want to insert your hook into both of the stitches on your strap, but you can insert your hook into one stitch, the stitch that's facing you on your pouch, because like I mentioned earlier, the stitch on the other side may be sewn to the lining. Okay, pull that through, go back over here, insert it in your stitch. Okay, I may do two more with you. And then what you're going to do, you're going to go all the way to the top and close it off like we did before. And do the other side by rewinding this part of your video and just repeating what was done. Okay? Let's see, some of this may be a little tight because I did some tight stitches. So just be patient with yourself and find that stitch on the outside. Okay, so our next step, actually our last step, will be to attach the zipper. Okay, we are done with attaching our strap to our cell phone pouch. And we are weaving in the last tail and do the magical number of 3 to weave it in different directions, so that will not come out. And then after we do this, we are going to attach our our zipper. One, two, and three. Okay, so we have to make some crochet stitches in our zipper. And what I did, I counted how many stitches are across here. And I counted 27 stitches that I need to connect to the zipper. The zipper has 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right, 12. So I need to make these 12 equal to the 27 as close as possible. So what I'm going to do, I multiply 12 times 2. That means that will be 2 stitches in each. And that makes it 24. So that leaves me with 3 remaining stitches. So 3 of these stitches, I'm going to decide to put an extra stitch in. So 3 of these stitches on this side will have 3 stitches instead of 2. Okay? So what we're going to do first is just single crochet. I'm decide to put 3 stitches here, 3 stitches in the middle somewhere, and then 3 stitches on this end here. So we're going to distribute that evenly. And once we do that, we are going to do the other side. And also on the ends, we're going to put 3 crochet stitches because this is about 3, maybe 4 stitches. I may decide to do 3 or 4 stitches, but yeah, we're going to do 4 stitches. That is a little, let's see, yeah, 4 stitches. We'll put 4 stitches on the ends of the zipper here. So we're going to start on the end and work our way around. One. Oh, I'm sorry about that noise. Let me put this under here so it will hush. Okay. 2. And 3. Yeah, we're going to do 1 more, and 4. Okay. Then we're going to go over to this and do 3. We're going to do 3 here, 3 in the center somewhere, and then 3 on the very end to distribute that evenly. So that's 3 single crochet inside of here. 1, 2. Oh my goodness, that's noisy. Okay. And 3. 2 single crochet here, 1, 2, 2 single crochet here, 1, 2, 2 single crochet in the next, 1, 2. We're almost at the center, so we can mark that probably. Mark that as, I can't find my little clothespin, but we can mark it right here where we're gonna do 3 right here. Okay. One, 2. We can mark the end. We know we're going to put 3 on the end. So this one has 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Then 2 for the remainder until we get to our marker. One, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3 here. Well, that might be a little tight to put 3 right there. 1, let's see, 2, okay, yeah, we made it, and 3. Okay, and then on this end, we're going to do 4 like we did on the other end. And unzip that a little bit to give you a little wiggle room. One, 2, 3, 4. Zip that back up. Go around to the other side. Put 3 here. 1, 2, 3. We find our center. It's either one of these. We'll make it this one. And that's where we're going to put 3 stitches in. Okay, and then you just work all the way down. You put 2 in these stitches, 2 single crochet in these stitches, 3 single crochet in this stitch, 2 single crochet, 2 single crochet in these stitches, and then 3 single crochet in this last stitch. And then I will meet you to connect this to our pouch, which is our very last step. Okay, we are on the last step of our cell phone pouch. So I'm just closing off this end of our zipper. I've done all of my little crochets. I am going to slip stitch into this last stitch. And yeah, I might as well go ahead and just weave in my tails now. And then we can sew or crochet our zipper to our pouch. And we are going to use the zigzag stitch to do that. Magic of 3. Almost made that too short. One more. Okay, well, technically, maybe that won't be the last step. I have to see. I may, if this is too long on the inside, I may stitch that down into the bag, and I may show you how I do that if it appears to be too long inside of the bag or the pouch. Okay. So get our crochet needle, get our thread, get our pouch, and we can start here, connecting the ends together. So we're going to put 4 stitches in the strap to match the 4 stitches here. And we're going to do that with the zigzag stitch. So we're going to insert our hook here. That's the 4th. Now this is the 4th stitch right here. This is the 4th stitch. Insert our hook. Make sure we leave like a 4-inch tail. Pull it through. Okay. And then on this side we insert our hook like this, like that. And then pull it through. Hope y'all can see that. Pull it through here. 2 loops on your hook and then pull it through again. Why is that not pulling? It's because it's not in there. Okay, let's try that again. This is here. Reach under here. This is part of the strap. Here. Reach under there. Grab your yarn, pull it through that part that is sticking out. 2 loops on your hook, then pull it through there like that. Oh my goodness. Have mercy. Okay. And you know what? That's why I am using my tail. Okay, let's try again. Let's move the tail out of the way. Oh. Pull that through. Okay. Then go here. Go under. Pull it through. And then pull that through there. Okay. There we go. Then we go back to the zipper. Go back to the zipper here. Put your hook through. Pull it through. And then pull it through again. You're just making slip stitches in a zigzag formation. Go back to your strap. We have 2 more stitches to go. Go back to your strap. Find a loop to put your hook in. Like that. Pull your yarn through. Pull your yarn through. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's try again. Pull your yarn through. And pull your yarn through. Okay. Go back to the zipper. Pull your yarn through. And then pull your yarn through. This is the last one on the strap. Pull your yarn through. And then pull your yarn through. Okay, back to your zipper. Pull your yarn through. Pull your yarn through. Back to your purse, your pouch, right here. And you will go on the opposite side. You won't go in this way, you'll go in this way because you're trying to keep your working yarn between your zipper and your pouch. You pull your yarn through and then pull your yarn through. Go to your zipper, pull your yarn through. Go through your pouch, pull your yarn through. Okay, so now we are in the flow of the zigzag stitch. You should be familiar with it because we are alternating this side where the zipper is facing you, and then this back side where the pouch stitches away from you. You do that all the way to the end, and then you repeat the process of your attaching your zipper to the end of your pouch where the strap is, and then you repeat the process back over on the other side. And I will meet you on the other side. And I did notice something. I should have brought my bridge here so it wouldn't be a gap when you close it. So the bridge was supposed to be here instead of way back here. So yeah, that's another mistake. Okay, I will see you on the other side of our finished cell phone pouch. Woohoo! We are finished. We have completed our cell phone pouch. The next pouch will definitely be better. And to see that improvement, why don't you all go to my YouTube channel, Sweet G's Sweet Pics. You can also follow me on Instagram at Sweet G's Sweet Pics. Find out a little bit more about me and the community I support with my projects. But congratulations, and thank you so much for staying with me to kick off this absolutely amazing adventure with combining DTFs with crochets. And I know you all are going to think of and create some amazing products and projects with just this little small idea, and just turn it into something absolutely culturally phenomenal. And I wish you peace, abundance, blessings, and protection, and much, much gratitude.